Hello friends, it's me, and today let's dive into the theory of the Mandela Catalogue. Together, film theory!
The subscribe button flashes its momentary beacon, the like button flickering as it points its thumb up. The
Subscribe!
video ends, and YouTube autoplays another, and the monkeys watch. They don't question, they sit, they consume. But now that's changed. The truth we've unearthed will leave you seeing things through new eyes. We are obsolete. So ask yourself this. How does it feel when a theory becomes a fact?
Wow. Film theory. Sorry.
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory.
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory. Hi.
The show that wants you to think really hard about clicking that subscribe button. Harder. You know what? I think it worked. Today we're returning to the terrifying world of the Mandela Catalogue, an analog horror series created by Alex Kister right here on YouTube.com. In case you're just catching up, the story takes place in Mandela County, a fictional part of Wisconsin where an unknown man called the Intruder keeps appearing on TV, causing children to suddenly vanish. Now, that alone would be terrifying, but in addition to weird televised kidnappers, the world is also dealing with a race of creepy doppelgangers called alternates. Twisted beings that drive people insane and cause a lot of death before going on to steal their identities. In short, the world Alex is building here brings together tons of big ideas from religion, horror, and old school science fiction, and then mixes it with a visual style that's one part Blair Witch, one part PlayStation 1 era cutscene, and a little Veggie Tale nightmare fuel thrown in on the side for flavor. Since our last theory, a lot has happened in this universe. There have been 2 brand new volumes uploaded onto Alex's channel, an entire ARG website that's come and gone, even a couple of videos covering the element most crucial to solving this thing, the plushies. That's right, friendos, mark the occasion. For the first time ever in 12 years of theorizing, we got ourselves some plushie lore.
Wait. The lore! I'm sorry. The lore.
Because this is gonna be the thing that cracks the whole series wide open. But in all seriousness, it is actually gonna play an important role in the theory that we have coming out today. So today, in a series where there's a lot of characters and a lot of stuff going on, I wanna focus on the big picture stuff. Who is the intruder? What are the alternates? Why is there an early 2000s amateur ghost hunting crew mixed up with all of this? And how is it possibly relevant to all the biblical interdimensional stuff that keeps popping up? Well, my friends, I suspect that all of it is a battle over a man who will become the future of the human race. We've got a lot to cover today, loyal theorists, so pop in your contraband VHS tape. It's time to watch. So one of the biggest and most obvious unanswered questions about the series is what's going on with all its religious imagery? Since its very first upload, Overthrown, the Mandela Catalogue's incorporated animated biblical stories into its narrative. But we're not talking about your typical Sunday school lessons here, friends. These are a bit off. Across the uploads, we watch a being known as Gabriel infiltrate classic biblical stories, from Adam and Eve to Noah and the Ark. Each time, he comes bearing an important and seemingly dangerous message.
Wait until you start to feel something. A change happening in your mind. When you see it, there is no return.
But Gabriel here isn't just sending messages down from on high, he's determined to get his hands dirty. In the most recent upload, Volume 4, we see that Gabriel is a literal being that can manifest in reality, communicate with normal humans, and then kill the people he encounters.
Oh, David. You have already done all of my bidding for me.
Now, in earlier theories, I suspected that Gabriel might be some sort of alien, taking the shape of an angel. That might seem strange, but in the first ever upload of the series, we actually get this brief glimpse of a strange alien face that eventually gets censored. And while I suspect that still may be true, what is undeniable now at this point in the series is that Gabriel is also this story's stand-in for the devil. He is this world's version of Satan. At the beginning of Volume 4, we see a retelling of the biblical story of Genesis, and we speed run through all the highlights: the formation of the world in 7 days, the division of land and sea, the creation of man in the form of Adam and Eve, and their eventual downfall when they're convinced to eat an apple from the tree of knowledge, which prompts God to yeet them out of paradise. Now, in most retellings of the story, a snake is the one who offers the apple, a snake that is symbolic of Satan himself tempting man and causing their downfall. But here, in the Mandela Catalogue's version of events, Gabriel is the one that's responsible for this. gratefulness, thereby equating him with Satan. This suddenly makes a lot of other details about the series click into place. For example, in the upload exhibition, Gabriel tells Noah to bring an unexpected passenger on the ark, one that will carry a secret message. The screen then goes dark and the audio goes silent, but the closed captions continue with a hidden message. They reference 2 Corinthians 11:14, quote, "And no wonder, for Satan disguises himself as an angel of light." That is literally what's happening here. Gabriel is disguising himself as a very traditional looking Renaissance-era statuesque angel. Satan is disguised. Additionally, we see the number 3.
But why do they pick and choose? There's a lot of good points in the Bible, there's a lot of bad points in the Bible, there's a lot of horrible points in the Bible, like absolutely inhumane part. Pick and choose is kind of
333 show up multiple times throughout the series, as both the title of the third upload, Volume 333, as well as the highway exit that leads to Mandela County. Again, Gabriel being Satan disguised as an angel of light ties all of that together. 333 is often considered to be the number of angels, and it references how 3 is a holy number to a lot of Christians, because it represents the Trinity, God split between 3 entities, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But 333 is also half of 666, the number of the beast, often associated with Satan. So the number works symbolically in
So if you think about it, right, if you think about it, when he say half, that means what? There is the devil is stronger than the gods? The devil is stronger than angels?
multiple ways. Mandela is a town controlled by this evil angel, 333, the number of angels, but it's also a marker for an on-ramp to Satan's domain. So what then is Gabriel's plan? What is his evil message? Well, basically Gabriel's a symbol that weaponizes religion. He's made it so that religion, that the church itself, is a cult. And we know this based on the most recent upload. In Volume 4, there's an ongoing thread of conversation between Dave Lee, owner of a failing video store, and his friend O'Brien, a guy who plays in a band and offers to get Dave a job at the local church if his video store gig falls through. Dave begins the upload by rejecting his offer.
I'm not a man of God, O'Brien.
Hey, no worries. You can always let me know if you change your mind.
Flash forward 2 years later though, and the store actually has to close, prompting Dave to have a change of heart.
Hey, O'Brien. I think it's about time that I take you up on your offer. I just think that I finally found peace.
Dave covers up his TV, symbolizing him turning his back on technology and his old way of doing things, before he heads off to the church to meet with his friend. But there, he's locked out. When he calls O'Brien to let him in, Gabriel appears, and Gabriel uses the same words that O'Brien just said to him over the phone: "Stay still."
You were so close, David.
O'Brien was an agent of Gabriel. Dave is killed because he ultimately turned to religion. He's now yet another victim of Gabriel's. As for O'Brien, he was yet another example of this world's alternates, the creepy, elongated beings with their ability to mimic humans.
Stop or I'll shoot!
And we now know that alternates are confirmed to be Gabriel's minions. Recently, the creator Alex Kister launched a merch campaign, releasing an official makeshift figurine of Gabriel, where the character is described as, quote, the harbinger of evil and the first alternate. But while he may have been the first, his alternate army has been spreading. That message to Noah as they prepare to board the ark, the entity that's hopping on board is likely an early alternate. In the merch drop, Gabriel is also described as a hive mind leader, so all the other alternates are parts of him. Come to think of it, maybe Gabriel really is an alien after all, because all of this sounds a lot like John Carpenter's classic horror flick, The Thing. In that film, an alien is uncovered in Antarctica that's able to shapeshift and steal the identities of the people that it touches, adding them to its hive mind. Sounds a lot like what Gabriel's doing throughout Mandela. And it's here where we find our second big question about the series. If alternates are such a big threat, why is the government not doing anything about them? The world is oddly complacent about these creatures that are stealing identities and, in the process, killing thousands. So again, what
That's a very good point in this fictional world. Why?
is going on? Well, based on the evidence, it seems likely that the government has been infiltrated by Gabriel and his alternates. Let me explain. The earliest government record of alternates that we see in the series appears in the form of a 1980s public service announcement from the US Department of Temporal Phenomena. Here, they warn people to keep every entrance to their home secured and to keep a firearm on them at all times for self-defense. In fact, all civilians are encouraged to fight back against the alternates.
While we heavily discourage any form of contact or communication with an alternate, alternates, we make exceptions for attempts at executing them yourself.
By the 1990s, though, the tactics definitely seem to have changed. Police dispatchers in Mandela County are actively told not to help callers reporting alternate attacks. In fact, they're told to actively lie, to tell the caller that everything's gonna be okay, then wait until the caller stops responding, presumably after they die. It's certainly a far cry from the earlier advice of kill it with fire. Another decade later, during the portion of the story that takes place in the late 2000s, the government now seems to be actively targeting people looking into or interfering with alternates. We see in Volume 2 that two characters named Adam and Jonah are wanted by the FBI because they're possibly associated with the Bythorn Paranormal Society, a group of ghost hunters who sometimes search for alternates. Why would the FBI, of all people, be interested in a bunch of young kids looking into the existence of ghosts unless they were trying to silence anyone who might learn the truth about the alternate threats? It's also
Pat makes a very good point that why in this alternate universe that the FBI, why in this fictional world, why?
So at this point in the timeline, after a decade plus of complete inaction, when people have just totally given up on government officials helping with pretty much anything in this world.
But it's not like anyone's gonna call the cops here.
And the mayor was just too stupid to just make that entire infographic.
These massive changes in messaging and how to deal with alternates would make sense if the government were somehow in on Gabriel's plan, either infected by his message or with key people in positions of power replaced by alternates. So Gabriel is literally the devil and he's using his army of alternates to infiltrate the police and government. That being said, one thing that's still unclear to me in the series is just how widespread the alternate threat is. For there to be an entire government agency like the US Department of Temporal Phenomena issuing warnings about how to prevent the alternate threat, that would seem to suggest that these things are nationwide. But so far, everything we've seen from the series has been local to Mandela and its surrounding counties. It seems so localized, in fact, that one character we meet even questions whether alternates are real.
Half of me thinks that there aren't even alternates. Maybe it's mass hysteria. Right?
I suspect what we're witnessing here are the beginnings of the alternates' global takeover. Their start in Mandela, the epicenter of activity, and subsequent spread to other nearby counties. A spread that's being slowed or even outright halted by the other key figure in the series and the other major mystery that's going on here, the intruder. The mysterious man in the TV responsible for stealing kids out of their homes and doing, well, we were never quite sure about what he was doing. At least we weren't until now. You see,
So what you're trying to say that in this fictional world, there are two foreign powers interfering with each other to world dominance, I guess, in this fictional world. What?
The most recent upload, I think we now know the answer to this one too. One of the strangest sections from volume 333 is an extended segment taken from a mysterious short film called Might of the Subconscious, a film made by a production company that's impossible to track down. We know that fact thanks to an ARG website that launched earlier this year. In Might of the Subconscious, we meet Stanley, a face made out of simple white lines who claims to want new friends.
Consider me a friend, because I might consider you one too.
Given Stanley's tone, this is clearly meant to be shown to children. As he goes on, though, things become a bit strange, as Stanley claims to be able to...
I can make friends appear out of thin air.
He asks the viewer to imagine every detail of their ideal friend. Then, in a segment that glitches out, Stanley says,
If there is a new friend that lives in your head, it is best to
as the subtitles continue and complete the sentence to say, to manifest them instead. At the end of the segment, Stanley says that he thinks it worked and that the new friend is somewhere in the house. It's at that point we hard cut to a police call of someone panicked of an intruder in their home.
Your new friend is somewhere in your house. Now it's up to you to go and find them.
911, what's the emergency? Please, you gotta help me. There's someone in my house. I don't know what to do.
An alternate has been manifested. The caller disappears and Ruth Weaver, one of the police investigators, ultimately winds up killed. But who is Stanley? Who would have the power to summon twisted monsters like this? It's the intruder. In volume 4, the intruder basically confirms that he was Stanley all along.
Do you remember how we became friends? Do you remember my face?
This also plays into the intruder's use of televisions. He's using them to show his face to as many people as possible, cementing his creepy features in their minds. And then the old videotape is basically a tutorial for children to literally think him and his alternates into reality, which now sets the stage for the big picture story that's going on in the Mandela Catalogue. A story of two competing false gods. A false god within religion in the form of Gabriel, and another false god within the television, the intruder, an alternate who's gone rogue from Gabriel's army. And the two
I disagree with Matt Pat because he mentions false god. You must think about it. Gods in this case, in this fictional world, they can be real if enough people think about it. If enough people believe in them, right? If not enough people believe in them, the god powers, to be exact, is not as strong in this fictional world, of course. So, Matt Pat, maybe they aren't false gods yet.
Two of them are constantly trading blows. While Gabriel replaces people with alternate twisted versions of themselves, the intruder counters by manifesting into our reality and snatching children away before they can be corrupted, or worse. See, though this doesn't apply in every denomination, several sects of Christianity view dying in the way that alternates end lives a sin. A sin that dooms the soul to HE double hockey sticks. And if Gabriel is Satan, well, wouldn't that mean that he gets more powerful with every life ended in this way? That would also explain why some of the instructions given by the Department of Temporal Phenomena in their Think initiative tell civilians to, because there's not enough room for the two of us. It's the government under Gabriel's control giving directions that make Gabriel more powerful. Gabriel also counters the intruder by having the USDTP order all TV screens and mirrors be destroyed, rendering the screen-hopping intruder useless. And this campaign also winds up wildly successful. Seeing old TVs turned on is a big deal in this world. Enough so that one character keeps an old CRT television hidden under a blanket in his closet like contraband, claiming it's the last one in the entire state of Wisconsin. But why? Sure, maybe these forces are just duking it out for some sort of control, but aren't they both alternates? Why aren't they working together? What's the big inciting incident here? Well, it all comes down to one character, Adam Murray. In case you need a reminder, because there are a lot of characters in the series, Adam is one of our point of view characters. He's a ghost hunter and the person that we see messaging on a brand neutral AOL Instant Messenger throughout Volume 4. Basically, we see almost all the parts of the story set in the late 2000s through Adam's eyes. And there's a very good reason for that. You see, Adam is important to everyone in the Mandela Catalogue. He's important enough to the government that he's wanted by the FBI with a $100,000 reward on his head. He's important to Gabriel, enough so that he sends several alternates after him as he hunts a ghost cat in rural Wisconsin. And he's important enough to the intruder that he basically engineers an entire face generation software so he can manifest and speak in the real world.
Your skin is not your own. You're not the real.
Adam is an alternate, but completely unlike any other alternate that we've seen thus far. No one can tell that he's an alternate. Heck, he can't tell that he's an alternate. In the world of the Mandela Catalogue, he's something completely new. And if all of this is indeed the case, we can actually take things just a step further.
Wait, the plot twist. What?
There's one thing that Alex Kister hasn't been, it's subtle in his choice of symbolic imagery throughout the series. This young man here is named Adam. His girlfriend, another important character in the series, is named Evelyn. Evelyn. Just like in the biblical story, they are likely to start a new race of humans, but...
Yup, what a coincidence.
Now the question is, who are they gonna follow? Will they follow the false god of religion, Gabriel? Will they follow the false god of the TV, the intruder? Or maybe there's actually a third option, one that doesn't involve twisted human doppelgangers in the first place. You see, throughout Volume 4, Evelyn starts to realize that there's something off about Adam. She discovers records in the police department that Adam isn't exactly like all the other kids, that he's an alternate, made from an encounter that he had with the intruder when he was a baby. In other words, she has now bitten from the apple of enlightenment. She now knows the truth. In the original Bible story, after Eve bites the apple, Adam is given a choice. He can either choose God and stay in the Garden of Eden, or choose Eve, knowledge, and get yeeted out of paradise. It looks like the Mandela Catalogue might be setting up a similar situation. Eve will confront Adam with the knowledge of what he truly is, and it'll be up to him to decide what he wants to become. Will he follow Gabriel, the leader of the alternate hive mind, the intruder, an alternate gone rogue who basically gave him life, or will he choose humanity? That, I suspect, is what we're gearing up for in the series. There is so much else going on here in the Mandela Catalogue, and again, I have to say, Alex has done an amazing job building such a fascinating world and taking his time to tell a really awesome story. Even now, 3 theories in, we still have so much left to explore. And believe me, we will be digging into all of that soon enough. So,
wow, if you think about it, the story really reflects upon how we human beings, think traditionally. You must recognize that, wow, all these religions, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of religions, tens of thousands of deities, tens of thousands of gods, like superhuman immortals, they rise, they fall. We forgot about those dead religions because they are no longer relevant. The people that believe in them are no longer around. So, wow. The reference between this fictional world and our own world is wow.
Oh, in the meantime, why don't you subscribe so you don't miss the next time we take a trip back to Mandela County? And if you want to watch another theory that tackles deeply disturbing analog horror lore, click the video you see on screen right now for our episode on the mysterious Oh Whoa. See, since that video, I've learned how to pronounce it appropriately. And as always, remember, my friends, until the next one, it's all just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be finding this video quite interesting to watch, quite unique to watch, and quite special with all the references between the fictional world and our real world. So thank you so much. It's really food for thought if you think about it. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. Thank you, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye. I nearly said food theory because I said food for thought. Subscribe! Thank you. Thank you so much.